Afternoon. It's still 11:30, so morning still. All right, so this is algebra notes for 1-6, the distributive property. So you've definitely looked at the distributive property before. Maybe this is just a little review. So the first part of these notes is looking at the distributive property of multiplication. So to distribute something, when you're looking at that multiplication, that distribute just means to kind of pass out, in this case, multiply to each term in the group. And when we say group, we mean in those parentheses. So looking at our first example here, what do we have to distribute? What is sitting outside of those parentheses that needs to get distributed to each piece? That would be that entire -3, not just the 3, the -3. So -3 times 7x cubed, -3 times 7 is -21. And I'm not multiplying by any other variables here, so that x to the cubed is going to stay as x cubed. -3 times a -2x squared is going to be a positive 6x squared. And -3 times a positive 5x is going to be -15x. Now, does the 10 get multiplied by that -3 as well? Definitely not, because it's not inside of the parentheses. That's what we mean over here by passing out to each term in the group inside those parentheses. So I can just carry down that -10. There's no like terms, so I'm good to go. I'm going to break this video up and I'm going to do maybe 2 examples at a time. So looking at example 2 now, if the first thing you want to do is add 2x plus 5x to get 7x, you're wrong. Order of operations, multiplication comes before any addition. So before I can do any kind of adding of like terms, I need to do that distribution with that 5x first. So I'm not doing anything with the 2x, so that's just going to get carried down. So now 5x times 7y. 5 times 7 is a positive 35, and x times y is just xy. And now 5x times 4x is still a positive 20, but now x times x, I'm multiplying variables there, that turns into that x squared. I don't have any like terms. If you wanted to rewrite it so that your exponents are in order from greatest to least, you could. But either answer is okay there. So there's those first 2 examples. We're going to take a look at example 3 next. I'm just going to do all of part A in this video. Might as well. Okay, so number 3 here, we're distributing the number outside of those parentheses. I don't see a number, I just see a negative sign. Okay, well, we all know that there's that -1 there. That's with that negative. That's not just a floating negative. So -1 times 12x is that -12x. And just like in our second example here, how we carried down that 2x, we're just going to carry down the 6. And -1 times -11 is a positive 11. I've got one more step here because I can combine those like terms. That 6 and that 11 are like terms. So -12x, 6 plus the 11 gives me a positive 17. So -12x plus 17 is my simplified answer. So now for this example 4, you might starting to have a little bit of anxiety over the fact that there's some fractions going on there. But no problem, that's why you have this fancy calculator that you can use. So our first thing that we're trying to multiply is we want to take that 2/3 and distribute it to that 6x. So 2/3 times 6 is what I'm trying to figure out. So in my calculator, remember, fractions are put in parentheses. So 2/3 times 6. Enter 4. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that gives me 4x. 2/3 times negative 18, same process. 2/3 times negative 18 is negative 12. So 4x minus 12. And that makes sense because think about when you've got that 2/3 and you're multiplying it by something like 6x. Turn that into a fraction. 2 times 6x is 12x. 3 times 1 is 3. 12x divided by 3 is 4x. Same thing with that 18. 2/3 times that negative 18. 18 times 2 is 36. Divide by that 3 gives us that negative 12. So you don't need to be doing that by hand like I did. Use your calculator to help you.